The word A became
Shivanam
extrovert and smart.
Gurudayam
Deepanand also
Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Bharade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunamayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpattyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavitvaram. Today, first we will talk about Vedas. In Sanskrit, two similar words are there, Jnanam and Bodham. Jnanam is knowledge, which can be given, which can be imparted. But Bodha, the experience, the realization, can't be imparted. It's a totally subjective matter. And this text is not regarding Atma Jnanam. It's beyond further. Atma Bodha, the realization of the experience of Atma, which is inexplicable. Avang Manasa Gocharam. And how will it come? It comes through Atmajnanam comes through self-knowledge. If we talk about Vedas, the supersensuous experiences of the ancient Hindu seers have been embodied in the Vedas. The sacred scriptures of Hinduism. Now you will be amazed that why Swamiji is always using this word Hinduism, Hinduism. That Indo and Hindu, those words are the contribution of the Western people. The religion of the Indo-Aryans is generally known as Hinduism or Brahmanism. So both these words have been coined by foreigners. You know the river Sindhu flowing into the Arabian Sea and forming a part of the western boundary of India was known by the ancient Persians as the Hindu because they did not have saw in their alphabets. So they used to say Hindu, Hindu, according to the linguistics. The Greeks borrowed this name, changing into Indos, which much later was converted into English. English, Indas. The Greeks called the country east of the Indos by the name of India. Its inhabitants became known as Hindus and their religion as Hinduism. Early European travelers and Christian missionaries coined the word Brahmanism. Why? Because they found the Brahmin caste dominating Hindu society and religion. But the Hindus prefer to call their religion as Sanatana Dharma, the eternal substratum of the society. Eternal religion, you can tell, because it is based upon the teachings of the Vedas. The country of Hindus is known to them as Bharata or Bharata Varsha, derived from Bharata. Many meanings are there in Bhagavatam. We got the character, the son of King Dushyanta and Shakuntala was King Bharata, who did a lot for the country, who did a lot of penance, And from his name, the country is named as Bharat. Then why Bharata Varsha? Some scholars says Bha means Dipti, effulgence. Bhatirata, the country which is self-illuminating, self-effulgent. That is Varata, Bharata, and Varsha means years. From the beginningless years, this country is illumined with the righteousness, spirituality, spiritual values, truth. As long as the truth will remain, that sacred country, Bharata, popularly named as India, will live. That is why Varsha, Bharata Varsha. And the name Bharata was immortalized by Kalidasa in his great drama Avijnanam Shakuntalam. Avijnana Shakuntalam. Whatever, the Sanatani, or in English, the Hindus consider that the Vedas containing truth regarding the soul, the universe, and ultimate reality are eternal. Vedaha nityaha, without beginning, anadi, and not uh, claiming, not ascribable to human authorship, apaurasheya. Vedaha apaurasheya. They are coexistent with the creator, and they form the very basis of creation. Now, these truths are revealed from time to time to the hearts of men and women, purified by the practice of self control and meditation. Such fortunate souls are called rishis, or seers of truth. Rishihood cannot be confined to a particular class or faith, time or country or sex or gender. The seers of the Vedas include both men and women, householders and sannyasis, and also people outside the Brahmin caste. Many recensions of the Vedas have been lost. It's true. The Vedic teachers known to us at the present time were, for the most part, householders. They imparted their instructions in the crowded courts of the king, as well as in retreats beyond the bustle of the city. The Vedic teachings were handed down by word of mouth. The Hindus hold the very words of the Vedas in the highest respect. For through them were revealed great spiritual truths. Therefore, they would not dream of changing a single syllable of these books. वेद को आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते. Hindu boys have always been noted for their prodigious memories. These scriptures have come down to us in an undistorted form. Much later, the great sage Krishna Daipayana, also known as Vyasa, arranged the Vedas into 4 books called Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. According to the Hindu tradition, he flourished at the time of the Bharata, Mahabharata. Actually, the book name was Bharata, but it was so big, it was named as Mahabharata, and the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavad Gita. But it must be kept in mind that the Vedas had been in existence for many countries, many centuries also, prior to Vyasaji, who was only their compiler, not their author. There is no agreement among Hindus or Western scholars regarding the date of the Vedas. They have been assigned dates very far apart indeed, but it would not serve any useful purpose to enter here upon a discussion regarding this highly controversial matter. Now, according to the majority Hindus, the age of the Vedas is not germane to the significance of their teachings. They deal with timeless truth and hence may be called eternal and unrelated to human authorship. Likewise, next to nothing is known about the personalities of the Vedic seers. It appears that they cared more about truth than about themselves. It is certainly true that the people of ancient India did not cultivate the sense of history as it is understood in our times. On the other hand, the Western people did something or did not, they started writing with the date, time. So Western history is very systematic. And in Indian, we never cared for the history, but it's very valuable in our time. Even Indian authors also, they never cared for their names. They wrote in other different authors to pay reference to them. They never cared that people will praise them or something like that. Srishti mein magn tha. We consider the division of the Vedas now. The Vedas strip of two ideals which rational minds strive to realize. These are material happiness here and hereafter. Material happiness here and hereafter, which is called in Sanskrit Abhyudaya. And the highest good, which is named as Nishreyasa in Sanskrit. Material happiness on earth or in heaven is realized through the observance of ethical laws, the performance of philanthropic works and worldly duties, and the propitiation of the gods through the offering of oblations in sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedas. These gods, who were the personified forms of the cosmic consciousness, seemed to the ancient Hindus to control human life to a very large extent. But such happiness as one may enjoy in heaven, even for millions of years, is limited by time, space, and the law of causation. And therefore must be considered transitory form, transitory from the standpoint of eternity. Swami Vivekananda many times told all the vanities of life are transitory. So, all those things we discussed, the happiness in the heaven, happiness of is here, happiness in heaven for millions of years, everything else is transitory from the standpoint of eternity. On the other hand, the highest good, Nishreyasa or Shreyas, attained through self knowledge, Atmajnanam, transcends the causal law as well as time and space and is therefore eternal. Thus, the Vedas may be roughly divided into two parts: the Karma Kanda, which deals with rituals and sacrifices, and the Jnana Kanda, which teaches philosophical wisdom. The purpose of the one is attainment of material well being here and hereafter, and that of the other, the attainment of the highest good. The Upanishads belong to the Jnana Kanda. Upanishads belong to the Jnana Kanda. According to Orthodox Orthodox Vedic scholars, the Vedas consist of the mantras and the Brahmanas. The mantras, which also include the Samhitas, are devoted to sacrifices and other types of ritualistic worship. The Brahmanas lay down rules for the use of hymns, stating also their origin and giving detailed explanations, sometimes with lengthy illustrations in the form of legends or stories. The Brahmanas include the Aranyakas and the Upanishads. The Aranyakas were studied by the forest dwellers. They deal mainly with the symbolic representation of the sacrifices that we will discuss later. According to the Hindu tradition, the different sections of the Vedas do not represent any sequence in time. They have always existed together for men since the very beginning, have known desires for both material happiness and spiritual felicity. But the thing is, in upasana, prarthana, karma, all the rituals, there is proxy. There can be some proxy. Like Hanuman Chalisa, you want to do 108 times. You call the so-called Panditji and gave him only 100 rupees for 108 time chanting of Hanuman Chalisa. After 20 minutes, he will report, it's over. Can ask him that in 20 minutes, could you finish Hanuman Chalisa 108 times or something like that? He will reply, yes, the quality of 100 rupees I have fulfilled. The thing is, which is supposed to do by me, the rituals or other things, that can be done by the others according to Vedic religion. But the realization of self, the realization of Atma, it is completely personal. There is no proxy in spirituality. In religious life, there may be some proxies, but in spiritual life, There is no proxy. There is no hypocrisy, no cheating. You can cheat the whole world, but at the end of the day, you will find you could not cheat anyone. You have cheated yourselves on yourself. Experience matters. Realization matters. And the Atma Jnanam, Atma Bodha depends upon pure knowledge, pure understanding about self, about Jagat, and about everything else. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om.